Hello folks, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. My name is David Moore, of course, and we have here, we're looking at a program called Adobe Illustrator. I've done I think I did one other tutorial on this channel about Illustrator, and this is going to be less of a tutorial and more of a watch me sort of try to design a logo type of video. What we're looking at here is a business card. Now, this is my business card, or a version of a business card that I'm in the process of creating for Purple Owl Media. For those of you who don't know, and I haven't made a video on this really, I should actually. It's a good topic, but my company is called Purple Owl Media, and our website is purpleowlmedia.com. Now, I actually really like how this business card turned out. I'm a little bit concerned about a couple of things, and I'll get to the main point of this video, which is logo creation, in a second. A little worried about a couple of things. The first thing here is I'm not sure about this QR code. I think it's a good idea in theory, but I just don't think a lot of people use QR codes. They just see this website here, purpleowlmedia.com, and they'll just type that in. It's not that big a deal to type it in. In fact, it's almost more of an issue to open up a QR, reader app, scan the code, and then go to the website. So I'm not sure. I might take this out. The other thing it's weird. I like it and I dislike it at the same time. I like the design element of it, but I don't like it in terms of how it might not quite be as functional as I want it to be. And that is these little boxes right here. Now, I spend a lot of time on the internet. I know that this is the Twitter color, that's the Instagram color, and that's the YouTube color. Not everyone knows that. And I feel like it looks good, and I tried it but with putting each of the different social media sites logos in, but I just don't like how it looks. And I don't like how it looks when I type like Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube in there. It's just too messy. So I think I'm going to leave it. And you know what? If someone doesn't know that this is Twitter, then they probably aren't an avid Twitter user and wouldn't check my Twitter feed out anyways. That's kind of my theory. We'll see. We'll see how that works. But the main reason to have a business card is this information right here: website, email. That's what you want. I could toss in a phone number. I have a business phone number I could put on here. I just don't like talking on the phone. Like, if someone reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I want you to shoot my wedding," then, like, through email, then I would give them a call, say, "Hey, this is David with Purple Owl Media. I got your email. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit further about what you wanted to do." I don't like initial contact being a phone call. For some reason, I just don't like it. That's my own personal thing. I'll have to probably deal with it and put my phone number out somewhere. But and like I said, I have a business number. It's not like I'm putting my cell phone number out to the world. It's a business number. I have business hours that people can call in, or it just goes right to voicemail. So it's not that big a deal. Anyways, the only issue with all of this is that I don't have a logo really for Purple Owl Media. I've just been using this type, which it looks fine, but I kind of want a logo. That's what this video is about. Took me 4 minutes to get to the point, which is we're gonna make a logo. So I have used a couple of different logos in the past, never really happy with any of them, so we're just gonna start here from scratch. We'll do a new document. And when I'm creating logos, for some reason, I usually just like to use a square canvas. I usually just go 500 by 500. It doesn't matter if you use points, inches, whatever you're comfortable with. I always start with a square. I don't know why, but it works out for me. I think just something about it. It's just like a nice blank canvas to work with. When you're creating a logo, you want to typically you want to create it black and white first. Well, technically you'd want to sketch it out first. I'm just too lazy to do that. And also I don't want to set up my camera to record me actually physically sketching. I do have a Wacom tablet here, which I could use. So let me actually see. We could do a little bit of sketching if we wanted to. Just move around some stuff on my desk here. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a Wacom tablet is just a mouse interface that, rather than being a mouse that you grasp with your whole hand, it allows you to use the dexterity of your fingers, and it's literally I'm holding a pen and writing on a tablet. And so, for example, I could do something like this, which is much easier than trying to do that with a mouse and keyboard. It's just not going to happen. So I could do that. I could do some sketching here. Let's see. I could pull out like the pencil tool and see. So Purple Owl Media is a photography and video production company, Northern California. So we could do something with the Golden Gate Bridge potentially, but that's kind of overdone. And by the way, this video is literally going to be me just my thought process. I'm just going to say it into the microphone. Hopefully you guys don't get lost. Sometimes I get lost and I'm the one thinking these things. So, but yeah, Golden Gate Bridge, sort of overused for Northern California advertisements. And also I'm not specifically a San Francisco based company. I'm sort of all over the place. The other thing too is I'm not restricted to Northern California. Like I live here, I work here, but hell, if you're gonna pay for it, I'll travel to wherever you want. I'll go to England, I'll go to India, I'll go to Japan. If you're paying for it, I'll show up and take some pictures. Like, so I don't necessarily want a logo that's going to be so recognizable as Northern California as the Golden Gate Bridge, because I don't want to pinhole myself into a certain market. Let's see. So if we do, and this is sort of just my process for creating logos. I never use a pen and paper. A lot of people do. When I was in design school, we would always have to do like paper sketches and stuff. But we would, like, the first half of the class would never even be the computer. It would just be like, okay, get your ideas on paper. And that is actually a really valid idea and valid point, because a lot of times when you're on the computer, you have all of these fantastic tools available to you. You've got this awesome color palette, you've got gradients, you've got text, you've got 40,000 different typefaces you can use, which is amazing, and it allows you to be really creative. But it also, in some ways, is more of a challenge because you have all these options. And a lot of times you can create better logos on a piece of paper when you have a black pen and a white piece of paper and you just go at it. So there is definitely something to that, but I never do that. I just go straight to the computer. Usually what I'll do, first step, Adobe Illustrator defaults to Myriad Pro as the font. That's fine. Let me rearrange my desk again so that I can actually type. Let's see. So, Purple Owl Media, and what I will do is I'll do a couple of things. Again, this is sort of just my process here. Actually, we want to do this, and again, this isn't intended to be a tutorial, so if I'm going a little bit too fast, I apologize. I'm kind of doing this more to demonstrate my workflow more than anything, because I think a lot of times people get into the the glitz and glamour, if you will, of all of these fantastic tools in the different programs, and they never really focus on workflow, which really is important if you're doing a lot of design work. And I don't do all that much design work professionally. Like I do it for myself. I make my own business cards, I make my own logos, I make my own brochures, I make my own posters, postcards, things like that. But I don't do a lot of design work professionally, like with clients. But if you do, workflow is certainly something to really hone your skills in, because it's going to save you so much time if you have sort of a standardized way of going through a process. Now, that doesn't mean you're always going to do the same exact thing. What it means is that you're going to have a starting point, which is sometimes the most difficult thing. One of these days I'll do a photo editing workflow video, just to kind of show you my process for editing photos really quickly, because that's also something that comes up a lot in photography is photo editing. Wouldn't you know? Let's see. I think I want Gil Sans MT, and so this is a little bit different. I already have Gil Sans MT picked out as my font. I really like this font. I don't know what it is. There's something about it that's simultaneously modern and sort of I don't know. I just like it. I don't know how to describe it. I like the font. So we're gonna use Gil Sans MT. We have a couple options. We can do regular, bold, italic, or bold italic. So what I will do is we'll bring this down and we'll make it bold. So you can already see quite a difference there. All right, let's do this. Now I have a certain color which I use for everything because it's important to keep consistency through your thing. And I picked a horrible one. 431E59 is the color code that I am using for my company's official color. And I like this color purple. It is just dark enough to be, it's almost like a royal purple. It's not in your face. It's very subtle, but also very sort of stately and noticeable, which is nice. So what I'll do is I'll put that up here, and we'll do another box with black, and then another box with white. Okay. And again, this is like my weird way of making logos. It's worked for me for a while, so I keep with it. So I had sort of the idea when I was doing this logo, when I was thinking about it a couple hours ago, because I knew I was going to make this video, but I was sort of thinking about what logo I would want to represent my company. And at first I was trying to figure out, okay, well, what if I tried to use like an icon of a camera or a video camera or film reel or something like that. But I decided that, again, sort of an overdone idea, and what I wanted to try to accomplish was something a little bit more along the lines of like the eyes of an owl. You guys could not see my weird gesture just then. I should turn on my webcam so you can see my face, but I just like put my hands around my eyes to signify an owl's eyes. Okay, we'll make that 6 points. Real quick little tip here. So if you notice, the actual outline of the circle is this little line right here, the path. And the 6-point stroke extends to either side of the path. And for some reason, I don't ever work like that. I always like to click this little stroke button here. If you go to align stroke and click this middle button, it'll actually push all the color of that stroke to the inside of the path, which is super helpful. That way, the outermost edge of the circle is exactly where you place it, which for me is what I like. You can also do it the other way, where it's exactly from the path extending out. Alright, so we'll go here. Let's make this just a little smaller. We'll go to 8 points, and I'm going to pull that out like so. That looks good. Now what I'm going to do is go to Object, Path, Outline, Stroke. We'll go Object, Path, Outline, Stroke. Take those two, make them one shape. So now it's literally one shape, which is nice. Now this kind of looks like the infinity symbol a little bit, which is kind of cool, I suppose. Let me see if I can pull that shape of the infinity symbol out just a little bit more. What I'm going to do is take the pen tool, and we're going to do just a very slight. Let's see. I like that. So we're going to continue using this Pathfinder tool and build up this shape. So basically what we're doing is every time we add a new piece to the logo, I'm taking the Pathfinder tool and just clicking this here, the Unite button, which basically takes two different shapes and merges them into one. It's a super helpful tool that I use all of the time, which is why I keep it right here, along with Align, of course. I never use Transform. It's just there. But I use Pathfinder and Align all of the time. Really helpful tools there. So we're getting somewhere with this here. Let's take our direct selection tool. Again, just sort of messing with the I don't really like that so much. What if we do that? No, I don't like that. Again, this is not intended to be a tutorial. I have not planned this out in any way, clearly. All right. Let me see. So if we were to do let's try this. And again, working in Illustrator is all vector, so you can zoom in and out as much as you need to, and there's no fear of getting any pixelation or anything like that, which is very nice. We'll just move this off to the side. Do a little bit of this. What happens if we pull an actual Alright, let's see. Let's go back to the drawing board here. Let's see if we can pull something out that's a little bit more like an eye, shall we say. And we'll go ahead and subtract the front element out. And let's do, let's see. Apologies for not saying too much here. I feel like what I'm doing is fairly obvious. Is trying to just create that sort of silhouette of an owl a little bit. All right, so my apologies too if you can hear my chair. I have a very old chair. There's something about this that I like. There's also something about it I do not like. Let's see. Purple Owl Media. Let's move this over here. Actually, I will group it real quick. Also group that one. So what if we do this? And then take So my thought process here is, what if we take a square, which is super easy to work with, and put some of these designs that we've already tried inside the square in different configurations and see what happens. So let's see. So we could do something as literally as simple as like this. I could also do purple owl media. Oops. Just drawing my Illustrator. I don't like that though. Huh, I actually don't hate this. I do not hate this at all. Sort of like the eyes of an owl. It's also like an infinity symbol there. Let's see how this would work if we put the purple owl media thing down here. Let's create an outline of that just so we get it exactly right. I do not hate this. Actually looks pretty good. And interestingly enough, the logo mark itself can be used independently, and the text itself can be used independently, which is always helpful. Let's see. And what's nice is you can put this, so the next thing that I'll usually do is slap a couple of different colors down. So we'll go with white, black, and then I'll usually do something a little weird off to the side here. So we'll do like a gray, and we'll do like a beige. So the reason that I do this is to see how a logo will look on multiple different surfaces. So we obviously have, oops, send it back. I'll go ahead and group that together. We'll copy it down here. Now, obviously this does not look great. So what we can do is just literally make the box and the text white. Looks good to me. Same here. Oops, let's do that. That looks fine. What we'll do though is, because let's say we want it on like the pink. Yeah, white works for that too. But we could also just do black. Ah, it doesn't work on that. Okay, pink, you win. We'll go white. And let's do like a super light brown, where if we look at this on here, the purple isn't awful, but it's not really, you wouldn't necessarily want to have purple on brown. It looks a little off. So we'll just make it black. And that works out fine too. Alright, so we'll keep I always keep the old logo ideas off to the side. And then I'll bring this one in here. And that's sort of what my Illustrator files look like when I've sort of got something that I like. Now, I'm not necessarily going to stick exclusively with this. I'm sure I'll go over it multiple times, refine it a little bit. Maybe not. I actually kind of like it how it is. Yeah, I'm good with this. So that actually worked out pretty well. I sort of came into it with an idea though. Normally it takes me longer than a half hour to narrow something down, but sometimes it doesn't, and usually if it comes out a little quicker, it's something I'm pretty happy with. So that's pretty good. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit different, sort of a workflow video. You kind of got to see a behind the scenes look at how I go about creating a logo in Adobe Illustrator. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below, and I'll go ahead and let you go, since I've had you stuck in this video for about a half hour now. So I'm going to end it. And like I said, any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. I got a lot of pretty cool video ideas coming up in the future, and definitely going to continue the video every Sunday schedule. Depending on how crowded my head is with ideas, I may push out a video midweek, maybe Wednesday or Thursday as well. But definitely expect those Sunday videos, and maybe something else in between if I get the time to put something together. So without further ado, thank you so much for taking the time to watch me here in Adobe Illustrator. Feel free to, I would love to see if you try creating your own logo. I'd love to see your workflow. If you do a screen capture, send me the video link. If you don't have to have audio, if you don't have a microphone or aren't able to record audio, that's fine. But definitely show me how you guys work, be it in Illustrator. Maybe you use a different program. Maybe you sketch everything out. I'd love to see it. So send me that video if you're able. That'd be fantastic. And sort of learn from each other, which I think is really the best way of learning new techniques. So without further ado, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.